On October 20th, 2021, Red Digital Studios debuts a new series, Cinema Sitdown. Produced by a group of rotating students with an entertaining mix of both serious and humorous commentary on a wide variety of movies. Cinema Sitdown became a weekly staple of the channel, with videos amassing hundreds of views. Most popular with the channel's classic, episode 305, The Goofy Movie. But not all things could be so goofy. Flash forward on October 30th, 2024, almost 3 years after the series premiere. A group of hosts, including Nolan Baker, Izayah Townley, Katie Morrison, and Joshua Williams, decide to watch the 2024 horror movie Late Night with the Devil on their show. Nothing crazy happens, of course, as this is just a show where they review movies. But nevertheless, this episode is special. A Halloween special, to be specific.
Hey, ready for the big show tonight? You look a little nervous. Here, this is the closest thing I have to a cigarette.
I'm trying to quit. I'm just a little worried. I wish there was a way to make it more Halloween-y and special-y.
Okay, what do you suggest?
I don't know, it'd be pretty convenient if we just, had a possessed person, but...
I was possessed once.
She was possessed once.
Okay, calm down. Just review a extra special Halloween movie or something.
Right.
Lock in.
I am locked in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Late Night with Red Digital.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am your host, Nolan Baker, and this episode we watched Late Night with the Devil, a movie that released in 2023 at the South by Southwest Film Festival, but had a theatrical release almost a whole year later in March of 2024. Well, we just watched it, some of us for the first time, and we're here to review it now. Well, where are my manners? Who am I here with?
My name's Natalie.
My name's Izayah.
K-Dog.
And my name is Josh.
All right. Now, there's a lot to talk about with Late Night with the Devil. I think the first thing that I want to discuss is what did you think it was going to be like going into it? You guys this is your first time seeing it, and the two of you had seen it before, but just going back to the first time that you had seen it, what were your expectations with this movie? Because I know I didn't know what to expect at all.
So going into it, I heard about it quite a bit, and then you had referenced it also as one that was been on my radar for a while because the main actor, I'm blanking on his name.
David Dastmalchian?
Yeah. He's been in a lot of stuff that's been around for a while, so I was excited to see him in a leading role. So just hearing all the praise it got at South by Southwest, so I was excited to see it. So it's been on my radar for a while. When I saw it for the first time, I was very happy. Let's just put it that way. We'll talk about it, though.
All right.
Yeah.
I really, I think I went in... I was just interested about the set. Basically, I wanted to see the shots that they would have with it, but I was like, oh, something bad is gonna happen on camera, and that was the entire premise that I was like, I at least think that's what's gonna happen. But yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea what this movie was about at all. I mean, from the title "Late Night with the Devil," I assumed it was some sort of late night talk show thing, but I had no idea it was going to be lost footage or paranormal, anything like that, so completely blind.
Yeah, it has the kind of analog horror-y presentation, which I thought was really interesting to be adapted well into a movie.
Right.
Because also this year, or 2023 maybe, there was Skinamarink,
yes,
which came out, and that was this is the first analog horror movie, and I wasn't a big fan of that one. I love the analog horror medium, so I was excited to see, because all I had heard about this was that David Dastmalchian was in it, and I liked him in pretty much everything I've seen him in, Prisoners specifically, if you've seen that one, and that it was kind of this analog feel, and so I was really excited for it. But yeah, let's go to you guys.
Katie?
Me. I was gonna say that I knew my goal. I knew it was something with TV station kind of, because it says late night, and I just with the devil, because it's gonna be a TV station, and I thought it would be more most spooky to it,
Mhm.
but not murder. Anything about that?
Yeah.
But like my goal is to like get into the news station.
Mhm.
Like my goal is to like work in like Channel 4 News or whatever. So I thought like when I was watching this movie, I just thought like I don't think the Channel 4 News would do this. And I just thought the lead was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Kind of cute.
that's
Interesting.
a-
That's an
that's
interesting
a-
phrase, but kind of cute.
I was
That's
gonna say,
interesting.
cute is not the word I expected, but I get it a little bit. Yeah.
For me, I enjoy this movie quite a bit. I mean, first time seeing it, I was blown away by the pacing. I was blown away by pacing. I also mean by filmmaking pacing, yes, but also by the build of tension. Like it starts off with your basic stuff, your basic exposition, but it just slowly builds. And I love the attention to detail this movie does. There's a few little hidden things that happen with this movie that I didn't see the first time, but the second time watching it, I pointed it out, a couple out to Nolan,
Yeah, we were
and
going back
we'll
and
talk
forth.
about it. I'm just curious if you guys caught them. It's actually really cool little pieces. But no, I love how it builds to this crescendo that happens at the very end, and it's just acting wise, it's awesome. I'll get into that too. But there's so much to like about this movie for me personally.
Yeah, the fact that we do technically watch an entire episode of late night TV
Yep.
through this, and it never once gets like boring or dull. It just the way everything compounds, it's just amazing. But that does bring me to my next point, which is the acting. I think everyone in this movie killed it. Specifically, Ingrid Torelli,
Sure.
who played Lily, the vessel for
Yeah.
Abraxas.
I looked into it. This was she's been in a lot of small stuff, but this was her first big role, period.
That's crazy.
And that's crazy because at her age and how good she was, she stole the show. Quite
Absolutely.
literally,
Yeah.
even above the main actor. I felt like she killed it, knocked it out of the park, and she's what kept. Like once she got on stage, it really I wouldn't say it was slow beforehand. It kept you interested, but once she got on stage, like it took it to a whole nother level as far as the acting, as far as the feel of the movie, and I can't praise her enough, personally.
I was gonna say like the first time I saw it, like if you think about like the news or whatever, it takes you like behind the scenes
Mhm.
of like in the movie. It takes you back
Hmm.
behind the scenes of the movie, of like how the news station works.
Yeah, that stuff was
and
really
it's kind
cool.
of like how you see in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watch like TikToks or whatever every day about behind the scenes with the news,
Mhm.
and it kind of shows you about that in the movie, and then like it gets into like I noticed like there's a little hint. I saw the movie the first time, the second time I saw it tonight, I noticed a couple of things that I never saw in the first part,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because like I noticed that I've got the guy who is like figuring out how, I forgot her name, the doctor.
June.
June,
Yeah.
that she, that June was hypnotizing Lily.
Mhm.
I thought she didn't hypnotize her,
Mhm.
but the guy who said she did,
Mm-hmm.
well, he tried to test that theory,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I didn't notice that the first time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I just thought like it was pretty cool how they did behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
And you can see him like while it's happening with June and Lily for the first time. The whole time he's like rolling his eyes and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
and like with the worms, like
That part.
that part
Mm,
really got
worms.
Mm.
me the second time because
Yeah.
I didn't notice that the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really got me.
The main guy, the lead, I only really took note of his acting towards the very end, where it was like he was kind of in a loop, in a trance, and I was like, dang, I would act the same way if it was me. And I don't know, I've never seen him in a film before, but I liked everyone else's acting too. The guy with the worms, he was my favorite character.
Gus?
Saw to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gus was great.
I
Yeah.
liked him.
Oh yeah. I thought we got one of the guys I forgot the guy's name who was his sidekick.
Gus.
Gus, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
that's
Not
what-
Gus, the other guy. The
Oh, the
doc-
producer.
Yeah, the
Oh,
producer.
Leo. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
favorite character.
That's your favorite.
Really?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why is he your favorite character? I'm just curious.
Well, Katie,
Oh,
what
yeah,
were you
Katie,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
first?
Finish
I
your
was
thought.
gonna
Yeah,
say
sorry.
the producer was like trying to test the theory Was that the guy who was tested theory?
No, that was
Carmichael.
Yeah.
The guy with the red suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was kind of odd, but
He was a jerk.
he was kind of a jerk. Like, he kind of reminded me of someone.
Ooh.
But
Oh.
I'm not going to say who.
Okay.
No one in the set. No one on the set. But it was kind of, if you notice that Lily did say something, but it was the host's wife
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or something,
Yeah.
Mindy. But if you look at the they roll back the footage,
Mm-hmm.
you see a ghost.
Yeah. No, that
Yeah.
part was really
Yeah.
cool.
They show that ghost, and then for like a split second when they cut back to the normal shot, there's
You
a
can see her hand.
and then it goes.
That got me.
Oh.
Yeah, that
Gets me.
The picture of the ghost obviously is like, okay, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
creep. But then I saw the hand. I just love when movies do that. I think Insidious does
Details.
have that scene where there's like the spirit behind the one dude.
Yeah. The
It's like
demon.
the
But
painting behind it.
Yeah.
Now
I
that
just love stuff like
now
that.
that we're talking about Minnie, I'm gonna bring up.
Yes.
So I pointed them out to you the second time around. Did you guys happen to know? So like in the very beginning, when they go in the backstage the first time, and he's looking into the mirror, as he walks away from the mirror, if you really look, if you pay attention, you go back and see it for second view, and you see Minnie in the mirror.
No way.
Yes,
really.
she's in the mirror. And then a second time, it's either Minnie or it's the demon Abraxas. But there's another time where they're in the backstage, and I can't remember who exactly it is, but you see a TV in the background that's just static. You see a face in that TV, and it looks like either Abraxas or it's
Yeah.
Minnie. Those, like, to me, that's what I'm talking about, the attention to detail of building that stuff. You don't see it a second time, but that, to me, is what adds to a good movie, is when you can go back a second time, you're like, oh, man, I did not notice that. Or even, like, little lines of foreshadowing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when Gus goes down to be hypnotized, quote unquote, he says the line like, "Oh, my wife likes my head where it is. Don't make it spin." But if you know the ending, you know the ending.
Okay.
Yeah.
So things like that to me, I
Right.
love
Yeah.
that kind of script work.
Yeah.
Like-
Just on that note of the Gus scene, I recently watched the Fly.
Oh
And-
The
man,
Cronenberg.
good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just I'm really just a sucker for like body horror stuff and like Junji Ito, all that. And so I was not expecting that in this.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. It also reminded me of Poltergeist, where they have that face like peeling scene that just comes out of nowhere. And it just really, I don't know, the movie really kept me on my toes, I felt, because it pulls you in as this sort of lost footage ARG thing, and then it throws you in with the paranormal stuff, throws you in with body horror. It kind of just keeps, it does it all so well. None of it felt kind of cheap or as if they were like, they never threw like a jump scare where I was like, oh, they're just trying to like scare me. I guess it all felt very well executed, I guess.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was gonna bring up later is everything felt kind of thematically cheesy. Like the effects and stuff, they were kind of not great. You can tell this movie was
Shoestring budget.
Yeah, it didn't have the
Yeah.
highest budget, which is interesting considering they have every studio on the planet having an intro in the beginning.
We were all
as-
joking about that. I think Icarus brought it up
Icarus,
too.
yes,
Like
yeah.
there's like 50 bajillion.
Take
Yes.
a shot for every production
You
studio.
will die of alcohol
Yeah,
poisoning.
before the
Don't
movie
do
starts,
that.
don't.
Oh, that's great.
But what was I saying? Yeah, so the effects were kind of like thematically cheesy, which I liked because it's like, oh yeah, this is maybe what a horror show would have looked like in the 70s, like with the, especially like with the electricity effects. It looks like whenever they used to just like highlight film. But I really liked it, and I was kind of wondering if the not so great effects like took anyone out of it at all. Because the first time I watched it, I was a little surprised at what it looked like, but I've kind of grown to like it a little bit more.
Me, kind of, just a little, but then you quickly get over it when it's like, oh wait, the scene is actually building, like there's a lot going on. Just like when the big breakthrough scene with the girl, I can't remember, Lily?
Lily.
Yeah, and then the electricity is like going through her. It just looks like silly. But I was like, that looks
Right.
silly. But then I was like, wait, there's like more happening than just that one effect. So I don't think it took that much away from me because it all played in.
Yeah, shockingly enough for me, like the effects never took me out, but the other things too, like there was even comedic moments within the horror scenes, like when the guy who's the skeptic,
Carmike,
I always forget his name, but when he pulls out the check, like that's supposed to be a funny moment, but it's still like it never took me out. I get a giggle of it, but at the same time it plays into that 70s feel that they're going for.
Yeah.
That has those moments, and I just didn't mind it one bit.
Yeah.
Personally.
I think they nail that 70s feel.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of wish I did more research on just like who made this and why they chose the 70s. It's probably just what they grew up watching. But it definitely felt like it definitely feels like a bit of a parody or a perversion, but it also feels like such a love letter, and that's why I like it. There's so much care put into this like crazy thing, and I just think that's really interesting to watch. It just shows how much the artists care.
Love letter on so many different levels for that, but also for practical effects. You see a lot of that stuff too. I mean, there's a lot of CG too, of course, at the very end, but like even the ending sequence is very it's creative on a budget. It's creative on a budget, and I think how they handle it worked really well. Like it felt very 70s.
Yeah. So what did you guys think about the ending, like story-wise? Because it gets crazy real fast.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked them trying to connect back with the beginning, where you kind of learn about this cult situation that was going on, and it seemed to kind of be tying itself back to, I guess, from what I got, it was sort of like a Robert Johnson meeting at the crossroads type of thing with the devil, where it seemed to me like he made some sort of deal while in the cult to gain this famous kind of status, and as a result of that, or part of the deal, his wife had to die. That's what I got from it, and I think that kind of angst and guilt really showed off as he's kind of like spiraling through all these different scenes. I also really love how it gets into this kind of like wide kind of shot, and I don't know, it really pulled me in, and it kind of made me feel like I was in a new dimension almost, or I was in some sort of new world by doing that. They really play with kind of the aspect ratio in this, and also just the black and white during kind of the behind the scenes. All of that is really cool, and I think it worked for me.
Yeah.
I agree. I think, wait, what was the question? How did I like the ending? I liked it because he's just like sitting there. I agree. That take of like, oh, he was in the cult and then he like did a little dirty business. But then I was like, this is fun. With like the 70s theme too. I feel like a lot of people were doing bad things in the 70s. And they kind of said that in the beginning too. Yeah, I think the film industry, I don't think this is far off like sometimes. So I was like, oh, they're shedding light.
Well, that
in a way that they can.
Katie, I'll let you go next. But that cult place, it's a real thing. The Grove, it's a real thing. Like it blew me away when I actually looked that up. Like I was Hollywood's things I'm finding out. I'm like I
almost wish I used that a little bit more, because I feel like there was a lot of potential with that, and I guess just because budget reasons, it's also trying to make that fit with the main set
and stay focused.
And
you
stay
only
focused
get one
is
night.
difficult, but I don't know. I just almost wish at the end they would have maybe flashed a few scenes of like I don't know, him doing something.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't just
in there.
Thing at the beginning, thing at the end.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a little confused with like I forgot who had the knife. I thought he might have the knife. Who had the knife at the last and the ending? Thought it was a host. But and who was in the bed? I think it was
his ex-wife.
Yeah, it was his wife, but it was like I think it was the demon like tricking him into believing it was his wife, but it was really Lily.
Yeah, because if you look back, because what Abraxas is all about is the magician, the guy who plays tricks, and so the idea was that the whole goal was to have Lily be sacrificed so that Abraxas could be released from Lily the Vessel. So that's what I took from it, is like, because you see at the very end where you see the Abraxas face in the TV screen, that he basically was released. So.
Okay. All right. Well, to wrap it up, because we are almost out of time. Okay. What would you guys give this on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'll start myself off. I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
9.5.
To me, this is in my top 5 best of the year so far. I love the pacing. I love the acting. I love the build of the horror. It's not too much. It's not too little. There's one little shot where she goes to check on Lily when she thinks the possessed is gone, and you see like this creature thing bite at her, and I was like, that's great effects right there. Like things like that, little details that I love. That's like 9.5 for me.
Okay.
I'm honestly reaching out to the movies I watch now because I used to watch little kiddie movies now. I'm gonna probably give it like the last movie I've seen. The last movie I've seen would probably be like. This one would probably be like an 8.
8 out of 10 is not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, because how it connects to. It connects to like the history of the news, behind the scenes with the news, and like how people
work within the within the industry. Yeah, for sure. That's a good one.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I really love ARG lost footage thing, so I feel like I'm a perfect audience member for this. I might have to say 9.5. I feel like there are a few things I wish they would have maybe. I don't know. Maybe I wanted a little bit more of a connection. Maybe it's just because this was my first viewing, but I really loved it, and there's hardly anything I would change about it, and it was just executed so well, and it was just so clear they had a passion and love for what they were making, and for me in the horror genre, sometimes that can be lacking, and it can feel very cheap and studio produced, and this just felt like people genuinely excited about what they were making and wanted to scare some people.
Did you guys notice Natalie disappeared?
I did, but if I had to assign her a number, I'm sure she'd probably give it like a 7.5 or something. I'm going to give it an 8, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching Late Night with Red Digital. I've been your host, Nolan, and it's been an honor. We'll see you in the next one. Hey.
Good show.
Thank you. I'm a little surprised about some of those numbers, but...
Natalie's possessed again.
Oh. Why didn't we use that?
I don't know.
Oh. What do we do now?
I'm not sure.
We could use it in an episode.
Probably shouldn't.
Yeah, now we all watch the same movie. We know better.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, what can you do?